Welcome back. We're super excited to have you here to learn about searching the scriptures and how to use the search feature. For me, this video is probably one of the most important videos of all of the trainings, because it's where you're able to take a deep dive into the scriptures. And it's also the way, after Oak was so kind to give me private scripture note lessons, this is how I kind of got lost in studying the scriptures, where scriptures went from, I need to read so many verses a day or a chapter a day, to reading and studying a word and then searching this and searching that. And next thing I know, hours have gone by and you're just engrossed in the scriptures. So today you'll find this very, very helpful.
Yeah, well, I hope so. So this is the search pane, and you bring it up by clicking on the little magnifying glass on the left. And I'll just close the panel there so we can continue to just focus on search. So when you come in here, you can search the scriptures and other books that are in your library. You can search your verse notes that you've typed, and you can search collection notes. So you may think, well, I know I did something about faith. And so when you want to search like a collection note, you can actually say, okay, did I categorize it? Did I tag it? Maybe I used faith in the tag for the collection note. And so you can search on different filters and put words up here to search for. But primarily right now, we're just going to focus on the scriptures, and you can use the same techniques on anything. So there's a filter button here. If you don't check any of these boxes, it's just going to search your whole library, whatever's active for you. You can click like scriptures only, especially as you add other books. And we're going to add some features here that will allow you to create your own custom filter sets. So when you have a whole bunch of books in your library, you might say, I only want the scriptures and Apocrypha. And so you can build that how you want. And then, when we do the search, the results are going to appear on this tab. So let's get started doing a couple of searches. And as soon as you feel comfortable, you can quit watching this video and just go search. So you don't have to stick around. But the search help up here, I'll just point out that link. If you click that link, it's going to take you to our website and give you the cheat sheet information. You can use these operators as you search, and I'm going to demonstrate that. And then here are examples and what it would find from doing those searches. So that's the search cheat sheet, and you can just pull that up.
I would for sure use that.
Yeah, like when you're getting used to this, definitely just pull that up. You can have it open in a browser tab, and then do your searches. But I'm just going to demonstrate a few of these that I think would be really basic and helpful for you to learn how to do searches. So let's say you're looking for all the scriptures that talk about having an I single to the glory of God. You can just do the word I and single, and that will find all of them. Now, and I can remove, and I can use a plus sign here. So I plus single is the same as I and single. And I'll just hit enter, and it goes to work searching the database here, and it's going to pull up 10 results. When those come up, remember, you can show your notes, and this is a great way to study. You might not even create a collection note from this. You might just go down through and start to study the verses here and make notes about them as you go. By the way, when you make a note, when you type here and click outside the box, it's going to save that note instantly for you.
I was just going to ask about that.
Yeah,
it's just saved.
It's just saved. So I forgot to mention that last time when we were talking about this. Now that we have our 10 results, there may be a time when you say, I want to see this in context. Like, I don't know, like, for example, down here, for none can have power to bring it to light, save it be given him of God. Well, what is none can have power to bring it to light? What is it? So I might hit like, well, what's the previous verse talking about? And it's talking about the plates being buried so that the Book of Mormon could come forth. So
you hit which button to add?
I hit add previous verse,
okay,
and it will add the previous verse. This will remove a verse. So if I say, you know what, this verse, it found it in a collection or a search, but it's not really useful for what I'm studying. I'm just going to remove that one. And then you can add the next verse with the bottom button.
Okay.
You can also drag verses from here. If you have a collection note, see I just clicked and dragged. If I had a collection note open, I could drag it into that and it would add it to the collection. The green eye tells me I have collection notes on that verse. So I could click this, see my collection notes, and I can also see like LDS footnotes related to the verse. We'll cover this stuff later. Topical guide entries, public collections. We're going to cover all that stuff.
So with searching, what's the next like?
And well, I just want to demonstrate the last button here is links. And there will be other links on Bible verses, but we'll cover all of that as well. You can take a look at those things and feel comfortable with it. So now that we've got our search results up with this term, I just want to show if I were to refine this and say, and covenant, because I see that word in Mormon chapter 8, verse 15. If I hit enter and it goes to redo the search, it narrowed the search results and kept it in the same pane. So if I do a search from the search box here, the search panel, it will always open it up in a new pane. But if I refine a search, it will do it within that same pane. It won't create a new one. So just be aware of that as you are doing searches. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to do a search for the word in as much. Now this is kind of an interesting word. And feel free to study this at some point. It's got 149 results, but I don't want 149 verses to study. I want to narrow it down. So as I think about phrases that I've heard, I might, maybe I just want to study inasmuch in the Book of Mormon. And I can see over here, there's 2 references in the Old Testament, 7 in the New, 25 in the Book of Mormon, and 112 in the Doctrine and Covenants. I can either go back to filters and filter for just the Book of Mormon, or I can click on Book of Mormon here and it will find those 25 results and put them in their own pane. And so I can come over here and say, that's the ones that I want to study, and I'll close this window. So I can go down through these and study those, or I could create a collection note, because a lot of these, and we'll talk about how to mark your scriptures later. I have kind of my own method of using colors, but a lot of verses will say something like, inasmuch as ye shall keep my commandments, ye shall prosper and shall be led to a land of promise. There's a lot of interesting things if you study this word in the Book of Mormon. Now I can also use, I'm actually going to do a different example for this next part. So anyway, that's how to use the search results to pull up a smaller set of things to study. So let me do this now. You have, when you think of like the word justification, okay, and I could do different words with this, but this one works really well. If I wanted to study like justify, justified, justice, justification, justice doesn't really relate, but I'm going to show you, I'm going to use a wildcard here. So I'm going to type JUSTI and put an asterisk, and I'm going to hit enter. Now, if I had put JUST asterisk, I would have found thousands of results probably, because just JUST is going to appear all over the scriptures. So to use a wildcard, you want to really think about like, how much of the word do I need to type before I put the wildcard? And so now I've got JUSTI with an asterisk, and I know justice is not really something that I want to study with justification and justify. So I'm going to do a minus and type justice. Now I could have also used the word not and put a space there. That's the same exact result.
As a
minus.
Okay.
It's just like I'm taking it out. I'm saying not this word. And I can do this multiple times.
Oh. So you could do wildcard minus this word minus that word.
Yes.
And just keep, okay.
Yep, you can have several on there. So I hit enter, and now it reduced the study set down to 91 results. And I can see, like here, I will not justify the wicked. that shall justify the righteous. And I could go down through and I might say, you know what, I don't want the word justify either. And so I'll just demonstrate this, and we go from 91 results down to 70. And so sometimes I'll do this with a word, and I'll just like skim down the verses till I see words that I don't want in my search, and I'll remove them with that minus the word at the top.
Love that.
So that's really helpful. Okay, the next example is using parentheses mixed with this. So sometimes, like, I want to study the word faith, and I want to know where it appears with the word Lord. But I also want to know where faith appears with the word God, because Lord and God are very, very similar. And so there's a lot of ways that I could do this, but I'll show a couple. So I'll start a parenthesis. I'll say faith and Lord in parentheses, or faith and God. Now this is kind of like going back to algebra. If you remember using parentheses and operators with multiplication and addition. Okay, and is sort of like a plus sign, and or, I don't know, I guess that's kind of like a union sign.
Yeah, I was like, what is that?
That's a different math operator. But it is really like an intersection and a union. I guess that's the analogy.
So it's going to
here.
find everything that has faith and Lord and faith and God.
Yes, and then it's going to bring them together, because it's like, I'll take this
All
or
those
this.
Verses, okay.
Yeah. Now another way to write this would be, I want faith and Lord or God.
Oh, okay. In parentheses.
In parentheses, because now it says, give me all the verses that have Lord or God and the word faith. So I'll just hit enter, and we'll see how many that comes up with.
I bet it's a lot.
There's quite a few, probably.
We'll see.
212.
Okay.
So that's a great way to just, if you said, I just want to study this set, what you can do from here is create a collection note, and then it's going to take those 212 verses. And this is another thing I love about scripture notes, is all 212 verses are right here in that column. I don't have to like see
Flip
10
through.
and keep hitting like next page, next page, next page. Now, after the first 50, as I come down here, it's going to say, do you want to edit the next 50 to unlock like the markup? Like they're just going to be text. You can show edit mode on an individual verse, or you can say, okay, give me the next 50. That loads a little faster than if you have a lot of results. But you can click edit all, and it'll just take a sec here, and boom. They're all there. They're all ready to be edited. But now I can come over here, and I will title this like Faith in God, okay, or whatever I decide to call it. I can save that and begin to study. And what I'll do is, like on a long set, I'll make my notes, and then I'll say, when I'm done for the day, I'll say stopped at, and maybe I got halfway down through these notes.
That's smart.
And I can say stopped at Alma 5:15, and then I save my note again, and it will remind me that next time I come in, that's where I want to go to start studying. So that's just a little trick to be able to study that.
What happens if you create a scripture or a collection note that you don't want anymore? Like sometimes I've created one, I'm like, oh wait, I want to get rid of that.
Yeah, so I just hit save, and it saved that. Now a couple more icons opened up.
Oh,
one of them is this little trash can that says delete the collection note.
Okay.
Now I'll just show you. We're going to go into collection notes in depth next time, but when you expand that and you can tag and categorize a collection note, this is like super helpful to create your own topical guide. You can put as many tags in here as you want. So it's a little bit, some people do hashtags or whatever in their notes, but this is a little bit better because it actually creates a tag tree for you. Awesome. And that's a great way to save your searches so that you can come back and study them. So I think that's pretty much everything we want to cover. I guess one thing sometimes, we didn't talk about reports last time, but on any of these panes, when you say, I want to export this to something, maybe you want to print it out and take it, you're going on an airplane, and you're like, I just want a physical copy, or you want to print it for whatever reason, there's a little printer icon at the top, and when I click that, it instantly throws all of those verses and my notes into a page here in the browser that I just click and start to go down, and I can highlight all of those verses and notes, copy and paste it over into like a Word document, or I could print it to a PDF right from here. And it tells me what my search was, so I know what that is. And then I can close that, and I'm right back at Scripture Notes on my original tab. So that's a super helpful feature as well.
Wonderful.
Do you have any other questions?
No, I don't. I feel very educated.
All right. Well, then I think we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Thanks for being with us.